I'm Ceremony from the Intuitive Gym, and today I'm talking intuition with Eliana. Eliana is a soul coach from the United States. She is an author of 2 books, including Mind Your Own Business, and she's also the creator of Soul Life Academy. She has been someone who has seriously inspired me to burst open into my joy and my bliss in full expression since the moment that I met her. So thank you so much, Eliana, for choosing to join me in the here and now.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm sending you a virtual hug.
Thank you so much, Eliana. Eliana, it's not always the funnest thing to do, but let's go ahead and do it. And just talk about, what does desire mean to you?
It's almost like that sound that just came out of me, that when I go, For me, desire is a clue. It's a whisper from our intuitive voice. It's almost like a string in your soul that shows up, and once it comes to your awareness in the form of a desire, it's almost like an invitation to follow it, to go follow that rope, to go follow that string. Maybe not so much to see what's on the other side of that, but just for the journey of walking in that particular path towards that desire. So for me, desire is a clue, a whisper from our intuitive voice, a path, an invitation for us to walk towards there.
What path of desire do you find yourself in the here and the now?
Wow, what path? Recently, I haven't seen myself been pulled to any particular path. I think the last few years it's been come over here, come over here, come over here. And I'm like, oh, I suddenly want to do this, I suddenly want to do that. Now, the path that I'm in, it's almost like a path within the path I've arrived in, if that makes sense. It's almost like, here I am still grounded. What am I desiring in this ground? Oh, I'm desiring deeper ground. I'm desiring to even explore more layers of this place I've landed in. So I find myself exploring the layers of a path I've arrived at before. Now I'm kind of here. I'm not really being pulled anywhere outward to an outward path, but it's more like, here we are. Okay, let's now go down and in, down and in, down and in to see what's actually there. It's a more of a grounded desire versus let's follow the trail.
Wow. That is amazing to hear you say that. That's something that feels like a pattern that is really big. There's a big desire, or a natural desire that isn't so mental anymore. It is more earthy and supportive.
Yes.
So when it comes to that, aside, you can maybe think more about this, but in general, when you think about desire, what role does it really play in our lives?
I think a huge one. I think desire is like it's almost like a pillar, I would say, for a person that claims to live in the present, for a person that claims to be in touch with intuition, desire is part of that journey. So if we were all in the car, or if all of our essences was in a car, desire is almost like the part of our essence that's pointing us to, giving us the idea, hey, how about we go to the ocean? Our intuition might be the one driving, navigating, right? But desire is like the whispers, like, hey, I think we should go eat this, or suddenly I want to, take voice lessons. It's like, what? Voice lessons? Okay, I think I know. Let's go that way, And again, it works hand in hand with intuition. Like I said, I think it's the whispers. It's the whispers of our intuitive voice that are leading us to another place that we're actually desiring. It's like leading us to our next evolution, and our next evolution, and our next, and our next, and our next. And it shows up. Desire has many outfits. It shows up as a desire. It shows up as a craving. It shows up as a curiosity. Suddenly you're curious about learning a specific topic. It shows up in all of these little ways, but it's still the voice. It's still the whisper of the intuitive voice saying, come this way, come explore this. And there's usually something, and again, it's not about arriving to the ocean, arriving to the destination of what it initially showed up as. It's more of what we will learn or unlearn, become or unbecome, or heal as we walk towards that direction. So I think desire plays a huge role in living an intuitive life and in living a present and juicy life, honestly.
Absolutely. Would you say that what would you say is perhaps maybe a problem that people face when they are out of touch with desire in their lives?
If a person's out of touch with desire in their lives, they might be missing out on, they are missing out on a lot. I don't think that, I think we are aware and listening to what we're desiring. I think it is. I think that's not the problem. I don't think the problem is listening to the desire. I think for most of us, even if we're not living the most spiritual, aware life, we know when we're craving something. We know when we're have a inkling towards a certain direction. Those things show up, and it might not show up in the positive way of like, I want ice cream. It might show up in the other way of like, I'm so tired of eating hot foods. Why am I so tired of eating hot foods? I'm so tired of not having sweets in my life, right? We're just using food as a metaphor. So it might show up. Again, desire, I think desire morphs into different outfits, but still to find a way to speak to us depending on where we are, whether it comes through I want this, or I'm done with this. And I think we all listen to that. I think we can all listen to it. I think the big problem is when the individual feels, okay, am I worthy of that? Do I deserve that? Do I deserve that ice cream right now? Do I deserve that trip? Do I deserve to invest in vocal lessons? Do I deserve a new relationship? Do I deserve to travel somewhere? Do I deserve, it's almost more now the problem is inside of a person's belief system. Can I believe that I can have that? But this person has it. Can I also have it too? So I don't think the problem is in listening to where that desire, craving, whisper is taking us. I think the problem is another internal one, and with belief and our energetics of, can I have that? Am I worthy of that? Do I deserve that? Can I give that to myself? And there's a lot of questions just around that.
Where do you think that questioning even came in the first place?
Yeah, I think a lot of those questions could be in the way that we were conditioned, because beliefs does play a big part of it. Beliefs. If I look back in my life and I look at all the things that I've ever desired, whether they were small or big desires. The belief that I can have it, I think is a big part of that. So I think for a lot of people, it comes down to the conditioning. What have they been believing over and over? What thoughts have they been practicing over and over that's been saying, yes, you're worthy of that. Yes, you deserve it. Yes, go ahead and do that, right? And again, it could be on a worth level. It could be on a abundance or scarcity mindset level. Can I afford that? Can I not afford that? Do I have enough money for that? Should I be spending money on this if that's going to make me feel good? But do I deserve feeling that good? So a lot of it is how we are conditioned from the outside and how we program ourselves to believe what we can and what we can't have. Are we worthy of pleasure? You know, that's a big one for me when it comes to desire. For me, meeting a desire is feeling the satisfaction of even pursuing that desire. But there was a time where I had an internal struggle of, is it okay to feel pleasure in reaching the satisfaction of something? Is it okay to feel joyful about it? Is it okay that I feel happy because I pursued a certain desire? So I think the questions come both from external factors and internal factors. And it's just a matter of us being aware when they do show up, for us being aware and saying, wait a minute, is this a belief problem? If so, I can unlearn it. Is this a worthy self-love deficit, scarcity, abundance problem? Okay, how can I support myself with better thoughts and practice better emotions so that I can go forth in that desire?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love seeing the way that you think, because it's as if you're right. Like, we have a very clear relationship with ourselves and what we desire. It's not even mental. It's a knowing. It's from the source of intuition, or the source. But what you're describing, I can see so clearly, is this: we have our kind of our rationale and our logic and our belief systems that weighs out the consequences of the actions that we're about to make and engage in, and almost like a chessboard to see what are the positive or negative consequences of any decision I'm making into and towards my desire. Because I guess that's part of kind of where my question was kind of coming from, was this sense of, but what if I have a desire that's mine, but what if my desire might impose some big problems for other people? What if my desire in this present moment might jeopardize something that is a desire that I have for the long term? So, like, just a short-term desire versus long overarching term desires. And how I guess I would like to know if you have a story you can tell me about a time when you recognized, because you were just touching on this, when there was something in your awareness that came up that had you asking deeper into your own desire of whatever you were engaged with in the present, that it was getting you to look further, kind of like over the horizon of what you were just saying, is what more is there than this?
So a story of like a desire that showed up for me and I followed it or explored it, unpackaged it.
Yeah, you were just kind of, you were talking about that, how the certain questions popped up of, am I even worthy of this? Am I such and such? And I guess for me, I'm noticing, like, clearly you have the experience of having been already through that. So I'd like to hear about that story of how that unraveled for you.
I'm like, oh, there's so many. Which category? Well, if I think of one of my oldest desires that it's been really cool to see unfold in my life was when I was in college, and I was in the elevator. I was a freshman. It was the end of my freshman year. And I saw this flyer in the elevator that said, study abroad in Spain, and like all these, things. And I was like, oh, right. So at that moment, boom, a desire was born. That, where did it come from? I don't know. I've never traveled anywhere but the United States and my home country where I was born. There was never, ever a desire to be abroad, go anywhere. I don't know anybody in my family who traveled. But at that moment, there was something in those words that made something in me leap. And I said, I'm going there. I need to study in Spain. I don't know why, but I need to do it. And immediately the thoughts were, my mom's not going to give me permission to this, right? I was still, even though I was in college, I was still like very attached, to my mom. She's not going to give me permission to this. Where am I going to find the money to do this? I don't have that. I don't have a job right now. Just all these questions coming up of, well, is this even possible for me? I don't even know anybody in my family who has traveled, and yet that was there. And so I crawled, and I put myself, the pattern that I notice is when I see a desire sprout out of me, I almost put myself in situations that give me no option but to explore it. Now I do it intentionally, but back then I wasn't doing it so intentionally. It was almost like I'm gonna go after this whisper and nothing's gonna get in my way. Now I like make sure that but so what do? I sign up for the meeting. I fill out the application without telling my mom, and I say committed by paper that I'm going to go. And once I did that, and this is what commitment is. Once I committed that I was going to explore that desire, it's almost as if everything else just worked out. I somehow got a scholarship that paid for the trip. My mom had no other option but to say yes. I go to this trip to Spain. It's life-changing. But now what happens? My experience and moment in Spain births another desire. Because once I experienced and followed the line, that thread, there was another desire awaiting me, another message, another clue, another thing saying, come this way. And that desire was to travel more. And suddenly I had this large possibility of, wow, the world is so cool. There's so much to explore. I need to travel more. I can see myself living outside of the United States. Now that was back when I was 18. I never planned or desired to live outside of the States, but that one desire that was birthed there set the tone and foundation for the next 10 years in my life, and where I traveled and how I traveled and what I did and what I didn't do. And every desire led to another desire that led to another desire that led to another desire. And as I followed this desire, it was like, it led to another Eliana, it led to another Eliana, it led to another Eliana, and another and another and another. And it satisfied needs in me that I never even knew I had the need for satisfaction. So following a desire and dealing with those initial thoughts, if we commit to following the desire, despite whatever thoughts show up to say, but you don't have enough money, but you don't have permission, but that's not good for you, but that might harm this person, by that. If we say, okay, I hear you, fine, but they're calling me in that direction for a reason, so I got to go meet my other self by following that path. When we just say yes and we commit, wow, we have no idea who we'll meet. We'll have no idea the level of satisfaction and the worlds that are uncovered when we just say yes to that initial desire.
Wow. When you describe your journey like this, it really speaks to me, saying that it comes from a place clearly deep down inside, from a place of deep openness and a longing to be one with everything. And I love that I can hear this sense of limitlessness to the many outfits that you can see with desire, and that you also have this sense of faith and trust to make a commitment to one, knowing now that that one repositions you to line up with others, almost as if it even exponentially moves you into your opportunity of choices. Whereas I think something that I do notice with people who are learning kind of at that beginning square of desire and really getting to kind of know their original outfit of desire, it seems almost like there may only be one new choice that could actually burst open the pathways and start to unfold like the discovery of yourself, of how many more desires can be experienced. And yeah, I mean, I had no idea that I would enjoy watching animated cartoons at the age of 35. I certainly never did before. And then all of a sudden, I can have an appreciation. I would have never thought ever. Now I'm laughing because I am so different from that self that was fulfilling other types of desires. And yet the path that I've gone on has led me to discover new plateaus of vantage points from which I can live a happy, fulfilled, satisfying, exciting life.
That's so good. That's so good. It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing when you follow the trail of desire and you're able to look back and say, wow, that self would have never desired this. But somehow this, unpackaging this, has filled me with so much more that I never even imagined that this would be fulfilled through this desire. And so it's just so beautiful to witness ourselves and to witness how we're changing and what we're gravitating to, and how we can say, I need these 3 things fulfilled and I'm going to do it this way, but actually it won't be fulfilled that way. It might be fulfilled this way and we won't be able to see it. And I think that's where desire comes in to kind of nudge us in a different direction. There's that inner essence in us saying, yeah, but let's take this right turn here. You're gonna really enjoy the view here. You're gonna actually really enjoy it and see things that you haven't seen before. When we say yes to that, it's like, wow, thank you, desire. Thank you for leading me here.
What's one step that you recommend to someone who is feeling committed to the undesired normal, who, in order to kind of to break open and open up to liberating and creating some freedom to choose to follow a new desire? What's a step that can be taken?
I think the first step would be to notice and listen, right? You don't even have to take action, but can you begin to notice all the different ways that desire shows up in your life? Can you begin to notice how you're suddenly curious to explore this topic, how you're suddenly drawn to these kind of foods, how you're suddenly daydreaming a lot about, this particular outcome, how you're suddenly speaking to people or attracting a lot of people that speak a certain language that you kind of understand, but you don't really know how to speak yet. Can you begin to notice all the different ways that desire shows up in your life, in the form of a whisper, in the form of a curiosity, in the form of a craving, a physical craving or an emotional craving, in the form of a knowing, and just observe it. Because then the more we listen to it, right? It's not even about taking a step. It's not even about making the space, right? If you were to say, what was the second step? I would say make space for it. Actually go ahead and just start exploring it. But even without taking that, can you just notice it? Can you appreciate that you have a sudden desire for something, even if you don't know where that desire is going to lead you, even if you don't know why you have that desire? Can you appreciate that suddenly you want to eat healthier? And you have a desire to eat healthier and to eat fresher foods. You don't know why. You're not committing to any type of titles. You're not saying, I'm going to be vegan, I'm going to be vegetarian. But can you begin to appreciate that suddenly your body wants to eat fresher and wants to feel more alive? Can you appreciate that you're suddenly feeling open and you want to share more of your art with the world? Can you appreciate that you want to learn how to sing, that you want to learn how to dance? Again, not for what it's going to give to you, not for where it's going to take you. You don't even have to know why this desire, but can you notice it? Can you listen to what it's saying? Can you view it as a companion that has come into your life and knows something you don't know? And is ready to show you something that you really want to see, but you don't even know you want to see it yet. Can you just notice that the companion is there, saying, hey, I'm here. I'm here. I'm just here. I want you to know that I'm here. Can you say, I see you? All right. I see you.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the step, an internal one. Notice and listen.
Notice and listen. Notice and listen. Wow. Yeah, that's such crystal clear and timely advice. And something that I believe that everyone has the capacity to do in the first place. When we desire when we desire ourself, when we desire when we desire more than what we are limiting our capacity to be plugged into or to be sensing or taking on, and automated. A lot of automation, I think, happens naturally just with the way that we, especially in the United States, people structure their lives, which is excellent organization for the whole, but then it can really, yeah. So, wow, great advice. And thank you so much for sharing your soul, for sharing your love and your passion. Eliana, thank you so much for joining me here.
I love you. Thank you for having me.
Of course.